The average client marketing report can take around 3 to 4 hours when done manually. A lot of wasted time trying to figure out what happened. I'm going to show you how, with Querri, to do it in about 5 to 10 minutes to automate the process with no code, no SQL, no spreadsheets, just natural language. So to start, we're going to connect our data. So I have my search ads, Google ads, social ads, HubSpot leads, and my GA4 web sessions. And we'll let the data initialize. So now that our data is loaded in, we can see that Querri gives us a brief overview of all these data sets, the CPC, conversions, opportunities, closed won, our web sessions right here. And it also gives us a brief summary telling us that we have full funnel visibility from ads to web traffic all the way to sales, which is kind of exactly what we need for the report. However, the only problem is this data is a little bit mixed up. None of it is combined together or ready to be combined together. So I'll let Querri handle that for us. I'm going to say clean and standardize Google and Meta ads, then combine with GA4 data. So now our data is clean, standardized, unified. Cells right here are combined. It has 1,000 total records, 200 GA4 sessions. So we're really ready for that client report. So I'm just going to tell Querri to create a client report showing spend, impressions, clicks, conversions, and CPA by channel for last month. So now Querri has generated us this client report. We can see our total spend, impressions, clicks, cost per acquisition, conversions. CPA for search is way lower, and it gives us a little summary right here, summarizing that. Yeah, so on social, we have higher engagement, but 53% higher cost per conversion. So what I'm going to tell it to do before we dive into any of these details is just to give us some visuals. So now that Querri has generated us visuals for this, we can see our spend by channel, conversions by channel, our cost per acquisition by channel. We can click into this, give us a brief summary, telling us that our paid search CPA is about a third lower than social during the last month, suggesting maybe we should invest a bit more into social. One interesting thing is, look, our social clicks are much higher, almost double our search clicks, so we might want to investigate into that. But before we do that, what I want to look into is, this was January. Let's see how it was over the last 4 months. So we're going to say, do these comparisons month by month over the last 4 months. Just so we can see if this is just a January thing or if this is something that's recurring. So now that Querri has given us these comparisons, we can see that if we look at our CPA, it's really just not a January thing. This is pretty much happening every month. Search is way down on CPA. Meanwhile, conversions, search is still way above social, showing us that maybe we want to invest more in search here. Pretty much consistently, we're spending more than social. So even when we were spending more than social, we were still having pretty similar results now that we're spending more on search. And here Querri is going to recommend that, pretty much what we're saying, let's spend some more on search, see if that works a little bit better. So now that we have this investigated, I want to see what else Querri has found for us. So I'm going to tell it to add your top 3 insights and recommendations based on performance trends. And I'm going to ask you one more thing. I'm also curious to see which ad creatives were most effective. So I'm also going to ask it which ad creatives drove the lowest CPA last month. And let's tell it last month, so it doesn't take 4 months. So now that Querri has generated this for us, we can see our campaign performance data set right here. We can see our best campaigns by our cost per acquisition. So our brand search at the lowest, non-brand search still pretty low. Then our meta ads are lagging behind as always. Our retargeting is the highest, and our lookalike is sitting at 10. And then if we go down here, Querri's going to exactly just summarize that for us. So top 3 recommendations, double down on brand search. And this is what's interesting here, fix our social conversion issues. So on social, we have 2 times the clicks we have on search, but our CPA is 53% worse. So I'm pretty interested in this, and I'm going to tell it to investigate the conversion issues on social. Really look into clicks first, conversions, and provide some solutions. So we'll let Querri kind of be the strategic analyst here, and let's see what it says for this. So now Querri has investigated it for us. We can see our campaign performance comparison charts, and if we get on here, we can see the actual efficiency gap between paid social and paid search. So look, our clicks on social are way above search, and even though they're high above, just straight up conversions for search is more. So it's showing the critical performance gap right here, highlighting that. And then if we look into our root cause analysis table that it gives us, it shows us green shows we're on targets. That's our search. So our CVR, and then our CPA remaining low. And then it shows us yellow needs improvement, orange is just straight up bad. It kind of summarizes that for us right here, which gives us a bit more of a deeper look into the 2 social campaigns that we're struggling with. Looks like lookalike is even worse than retargeting. Same amount of clicks, nearly the same amount of clicks, but even worse conversions. And then right here identifies some root causes. So it tells us, yeah, exactly. Lookalike campaigns underperform. Retargeting is slightly better, but regardless, there's just a massive gap, which means that maybe we need to look into our messages on social. Maybe that's part of it. So I really like what Querri's given us here. I'm going to tell it to create a dashboard monitoring this and everything else we've been looking over. So I'm going to say, create a dashboard that will automate monitoring the efficiency gap, specify campaign type, CPA, and say most useful insights, and a more important features. So now that Querri has done this, we can look at our dashboard. We can see our data, the unified data. We can see our CPA by channel. We can see it monitoring the efficiency gap right here. And then we also can see it monitors all campaign performance, conversion rate, CPA, total conversions, and then we can look at our best performing campaigns, and then still have the root cause summary table, so we can continue to monitor this as we get more data, our monthly conversion rate, CPA by channel over time, and then we can press automate here so that it'll, let's have it repeat, we never repeat monthly, so if we upload new data every month, and we can schedule the automation, and then that'll run every single time we have new data. So we're able to get a new dashboard every single time without having to do any more work, which is nice. Then if we go back into the chat, we can do a couple more things with this data. We can export some of the charts as PNGs if we want to share them. We can export some of it as Excel files if we want to share them. We can also have Querri create a presentation, which is pretty cool. So let's also create a presentation of what we go over in the dashboard. So now Querri has generated us this really nice presentation that looks across both search and social. Right here we can see total investment, our search CPA, how we're struggling with social right here. Bit of a more of a comparison here, and then we can look into what we're doing month by month, some of our charts in our dashboard, clicks per conversion, everything. So it's a really nice way to you sort of just get a quick, ready presentation that you're able to add to the dashboard, just like this. Go in and edit, whatever. And that's really just how to take a bunch of different sources data, a task that usually takes, from 2, 3, 4 hours to create client-ready marketing reports, and do it in 5 to 10 minutes with the power of Querri.